universities can be found in the ISI or Scopus database. So if we have 2086 HEIs, this will translate to only about 0.006% publishing among those 2,000 universities. So the scenario is not, well, it's not beautiful. I'll just miss this out. Okay, look what they are submitting to us. So for example, they submitted abstracts of thesis and dissertations, 100 of this. Look at this. Would you like to publish this in your journals? These kinds of studies. These are actual theses and dissertations submitted to us for journals. So out of 100 theses and dissertations, for example, 9 only can qualify for publication. So you see now the quality of our graduate program is particularly. And what we are awarding, for example, this kind of researches, they are far from international standards. Okay, so we have here from Mr. Teo, last 2 years ago. You can see the publication profile of the Philippines. We are here at the bottom. So what we are doing are not counted. These bibliometrics from Scopus, presented last year at the EU meeting. So we can see here comparison between ASEAN and Philippine ASEAN countries and the European countries. So,
excuse me, Lito. Can you highlight some of the initiatives that you've been working on?
Okay. Just to show you some profile, where we are right now in terms of publication is from Scopus, for example, in agriculture. We don't enter actually to the database anymore compared to our ASEAN nation.
Can you look at some of the initiatives para ASEAN discussion?
Okay. How do we now come up with a journal that can be upgraded to international standards and be counted among those indexed internationally by Scopus and ISI? So that is a challenge which we want to do, because that will provide a platform for our faculty members, researchers, to join the global community of scholars and researchers. It will be a challenge. We just formed the committee in CHED to come up with the Philippine Citation Index. That's why we'll be talking with Dr. Lo from Thailand. So we'll start doing this in the next months, and we'll come up with this. But this will not yet address the profiles of the Philippines as seen by the world. We have a responsibility to work hard, do that to improve this, including your journals. So they will be eventually indexed by this ISI or Scopus. The impact of this actually is not just within the Philippines, but it's how the world will look at the Philippines in terms of research productivity. And research productivity is one of the parameters used by the UN, by the international agencies, to look at economic development here in the country. Okay, so for me, this will be our challenge. How you as editors can upgrade your journals into a system which is in tune with international standards in such a way that can enter the international index and be counted. That is the most important. We have to be counted. Thank you.
Thank you, Lito. May we now ask Dr. Luli Cruz to share with us her thoughts?
Yeah, I just make a comment. I think, well, the problem that everybody sees here is for the editors who are trying to maintain a journal, is that there's really a lack of submissions. And as Dr. Lianan said, that we really need to do more research and upgrade our research. I think if you don't do research, then what's there to publish and what's there to put in the journals? And I've been talking to some of our, at least in the field of chemistry or biochemistry or biosciences, and people we talk to from the other universities say that they have too much teaching load. Okay, that's a big problem, particularly in private universities where they have very little time. I think the universities should really, the administrators, as part of the incentives that they give to their faculty members, is to give more time for research and then award those who are able to publish. And so the incentives. And then if it's very difficult for a single faculty member to finish a research within the limited time that he or she has, then I think this is we should collaborate with our colleagues inside within the department, because I'm sure people in the department will have different expertise, sub-expertise that who can and they can work together to come up with say solution to a problem. And as far as the thesis are concerned, there is at the UP and maybe the Marine Science Institute, we generally take on a thesis or dissertation student and have them work on something related to an existing project. And I've heard of others where the students have to spend for their thesis or for their dissertation. And so they think of whatever, and they're free to take on a subject that they want. And so there will be a lot of little studies here and there. And since this is just done, say if it's an undergraduate thesis, this is done over a year. And since they are taking so many subjects still, then it's difficult to have a meaningful project that one can finish within that time. And then, even for the masteral thesis, students have to spend their own money. Although now the OST has thesis dissertations, but thesis dissertation support, but the level of support is just like 20,000, so 60,000, 50,000.
Chet also provides thesis support.
Yes, and if you're doing biochemistry, sometimes it costs 30,000 to buy a single enzyme. And so, and so we've been talking to the Secretary of Science, Secretary Montero, that we should at least increase it to up to the level of 300,000. And he says that's possible as long as it's within the priority areas of the DOST. So, I think one of the things that we can do is disseminate the information about priorities and about the guidelines for writing proposals. And a group of faculty members from each particular university can submit a joint proposal. And with also indication there that, say, if when you do your budget, you have a research assistant, and then there will be support for students also incorporated. I think that can be considered by DOST. So, yeah, I think what we really need to think about now very hard is how to really encourage people to do research, to do meaningful research. And with the resources that we have now, we have to consolidate and do collaborative research. And we now have the National Science Complex where